In the vast silence of space, far beyond the comforting reach of our satellites and the boundaries of our imagination, something extraordinary happened. Not a star collapsing, not a distant explosion, something far more deliberate. A beam of light, focused, coherent, and impossibly precise, fired directly toward Earth from an object humanity barely understands. 3I Atlas. It wasn't random. It wasn't natural. It was an act of intention. For 47 seconds, the universe itself seemed to hold its breath. Astronomers first noticed it when their instruments screamed with data that defied every calibration. A sudden colossal rise in electromagnetic emissions. Atlas, a body of rock and ice traveling between the stars, had just done something no comet or interstellar object had ever done before. It fired a laser-like beam that crossed 6 million kilometers of space and struck our planet with absolute precision. No dispersion, no atmospheric interference. It hit exactly one point. Earth's most advanced radio telescope facility in Puerto Rico, the successor to the legendary Arecibo. Within milliseconds, every system at the observatory went dark. Circuit breakers tripped simultaneously. Data arrays failed. Backup generators died. The entire complex fell into silence. And yet, when power returned, engineers discovered something impossible. Over 3 gigabytes of data had appeared on drives that had no power during the event. Information recorded directly into the material of the disks, at the quantum level. No human technology can do that. What Atlas transmitted wasn't noise, it was organized, structured, a message. Across the planet, scientists scrambled to confirm what had just happened. In the chaos, 3 other observatories, one in China, one in Australia, and another in Spain, reported identical events. All systems down, all systems restored, and all with mysterious new data on their servers. 4 locations, 4 simultaneous hits. The beam had split or repeated itself in fractions of a second, targeting humanity's most powerful listening posts. Whoever or whatever controls Atlas knew exactly where we were listening from. This wasn't an accident, it was contact. Before we go further into what the data revealed, take a moment to support this investigation. Hit that like button and subscribe, because what you're about to hear might redefine how we see the universe and our place inside it. When the 47-second beam ended, Atlas returned to normal electromagnetic output, as though nothing had happened. But Earth's ionosphere remained disturbed for hours. Satellites in orbit glitched, instruments failed, and deep within the radio observatories, teams uncovered data unlike any ever recorded. 12.8 gigabytes across all 4 sites, the equivalent of hundreds of thousands of pages of information compressed into less than a minute. But this wasn't compression as we know it. It wasn't binary. Researchers soon realized that the data contained at least 8 distinct states, not just the ones and zeros of traditional computing. It was a quantum message existing in superposition, information that could only be fully understood once observed. As computers attempted to interpret it, they produced patterns. Mathematical relationships, pulsar timings, stellar positions, gravitational wave sequences, familiar yet alien. Some sections resembled equations long known but solved in ways no human mind had conceived. Others seemed to describe geometry beyond 3 dimensions. When projected into multidimensional models, images appeared, rotating, fluid structures casting shadows into our limited perception, as if Atlas was showing us fragments of higher realities we cannot yet comprehend. Scientists began to realize the beam's energy, focus, and composition obeyed principles beyond our physics. To sustain such power across 6 million kilometers would require energy equal to humanity, as total daily consumption, released in less than a minute. Yet the beam caused no destruction. It was measured, surgical, restrained. Atlas demonstrated that it could reach us, disable our technology, and deliver data directly into our systems without permanent harm. A display of precision and superiority. A demonstration of power. Experts in electromagnetic weaponry reviewed the logs and reached a chilling conclusion. Atlas has mastered control of energy at a level that makes our most advanced reactors look primitive. It can manipulate wavelengths, intensities, and frequencies at will. The 3 final pulses of the 47-second event, bright, dim, bright, showed perfect modulation, like the dots and dashes of a cosmic Morse code. If this was a message, it was not a cry for help. It was deliberate communication. And yet, the question remains. What does it want us to know? The first analyses of the data revealed something even more disturbing. Embedded within the patterns were sequences resembling time-based variables, values that decreased steadily, predictably. A countdown. When plotted, the sequence pointed exactly 16 days from the moment of the beam. 16 days until something. No one knows what. If you're watching this, stay with me. Hit like and subscribe, because as new findings emerge, we'll break down every piece of this puzzle. What we uncover together could be the most important revelation in human history. Governments reacted in silence. Defense agencies raised alert levels. Internal reports leaked, describing Atlas as a technologically superior active system. If it can hit any facility on Earth from its current position, it could also target communication hubs, satellites, or military installations, without warning, without delay. The most terrifying realization was that there is no defense against light. By the time we see it, it has already arrived. The weapon and the message are one and the same. Some experts insist this was not aggression but communication. Others, a warning. A few even suggest it was a test, to see how we would react. One linguist studying the encoded data found sequences resembling human phonetic frequencies. He believes Atlas may have tried to generate sound, as if attempting to mimic speech through electromagnetic interference. During the event, operators at the Chinese facility swore they heard distorted human-like tones emerging from powerless speakers. No recordings exist, but the testimony remains chilling. Meanwhile, the scientific race continues. Quantum computers across multiple continents are working day and night to decode the message's deeper layers. Preliminary breakthroughs reveal 3 distinct structural levels within the data: an outer shell containing universal constants, mathematical and physical foundations common across the cosmos, a middle layer that seems procedural as if outlining instructions or steps, and an inner core still locked behind encryption methods we cannot yet grasp. If we're right, the outer layer is meant to establish communication, a shared language of science. The middle may be directions. And the core? The core could hold the purpose of the entire transmission. Every major space agency now monitors Atlas continuously. Its trajectory calculations show that in exactly 16 days from the original event, it will be slightly closer to Earth. Only 200,000 meters, but closer nonetheless. The number matches the countdown embedded in the data. Coincidence or coordination? Scientists don't believe in coincidence at this scale. Some suspect another transmission is coming, a follow-up signal to see if we understood. Others fear something larger, a movement of Atlas into a closer orbit, or the arrival of other objects following its path. Financial markets have already felt the tremor of uncertainty. Aerospace and defense stocks surged. Gold spiked. Quietly, governments have updated emergency protocols for technological anomalies of extraterrestrial origin. They are preparing, even if they won't admit it publicly. Religious institutions debate the implications. Is this divine contact or a challenge to human supremacy? Philosophers call it the end of cosmic solitude. But among scientists, one truth is unavoidable. This was real. Recorded, measured, verified. Not theory, not imagination. Real. An astrophysicist involved in the decoding project described the event with haunting clarity. We are ants trying to read the blueprints of a cathedral. Perhaps Atlas is not warning us, not testing us, but doing something we cannot yet conceptualize. Maybe we were never the target. Maybe we were simply in the path of a process so vast that our only mistake was noticing it. Still, that countdown remains. 16 days. The numbers tick down relentlessly in the data sequence, embedded in every copy, every analysis, impossible to remove. What happens when it reaches 0? No one knows. Perhaps another beam. Perhaps a signal we can finally answer. Or perhaps silence. The kind of silence that follows when a message has been sent, received, and acknowledged. If Atlas's goal was to make us aware, it has succeeded. Humanity is watching the sky with a mix of fear and awe, united by one undeniable fact. Something out there knows we exist. It knows where we listen from. It understands our language of science, our hunger to know. And it has reached out. Now the question is whether we will understand its purpose, or merely witness the beginning of something we cannot control. So before we close, remember this. If you believe that what happened with Atlas marks the dawn of a new chapter for our species, support this channel. Subscribe, leave a like, and stay with us. Because in 16 days, when that countdown ends, the sky might speak again. And when it does, we need to be ready to listen.